Egypt looks like one of the worst places on Earth to build a civilization. Desert, extreme heat, dangerous water, disease. And yet humans lived there for thousands of years. But surviving ancient Egypt wasn't only about surviving nature. You also had to survive the people who ruled you. So how did ordinary Egyptians survive both? Because life in ancient Egypt could hurt you in ways that would feel unimaginable today. Imagine being caught breaking the law. In one surviving legal case, a man was sentenced to 100 blows. Imagine being held down while the first strike lands, then the second, then the 10th. Your skin is already burning, but you know there are dozens more coming. And in other documented cases, punishments could go further. A decree of Seti I prescribed hundreds of lashes and open wounds for certain officials who abused their authority. These weren't simply punishments designed to hurt. They were designed to make an example of you, and that tells you something important about ancient Egypt. The state didn't just want obedience. It wanted obedience that everyone could see. But punishment wasn't the only way ordinary people were controlled. There was work. The pyramids weren't built exactly like the popular movies show them. Archaeology points to organized labor forces that received food, shelter, and medical care rather than endless armies of chained slaves. But organized doesn't mean voluntary. The Egyptian state could demand compulsory labor. So imagine you're a farmer. The harvest season ends. You think you're finally going home. Instead, officials tell you that your labor is required for a state project. You arrive at the worksite. The sun is overhead. Your hands are wrapped around a rope. Every time the team pulls, your palms rub against the fibers. Your shoulders ache. Your feet are covered in dust. And tomorrow, you do it again. You might be fed. You might even receive medical treatment. But you still didn't necessarily get to say no. Ancient Egyptian labor systems could compel people to work for the state, and occupational injuries were a real part of heavy labor. So surviving Egypt also meant surviving the system that built it. And then your body could turn against you. Imagine something inside your abdomen has gone badly wrong. Today, you'd be unconscious before a surgeon started cutting. In ancient Egypt, there was no modern general anesthesia. There were some attempts at pain relief, and ancient medical texts contain evidence of medicinal substances that may have had analgesic effects, but there is little evidence of effective anesthesia being routinely used for medical procedures. So imagine lying there, awake, while someone makes an incision into your body. You can feel the pressure, you can feel the pain, you know the instrument is inside you, and you can't simply ask them to stop. Ancient Egyptian medicine was actually sophisticated in many ways. Physicians documented injuries, diagnoses, and treatments, and the Edwin Smith Papyrus contains detailed case descriptions of physical trauma. But they were working without antibiotics, modern anesthesia, or our understanding of infection. Some treatments were remarkably practical. Others were based on beliefs we now know were wrong. They weren't stupid. They were trying to solve problems without the tools we take for granted. And sometimes, that made medicine another gamble. But you didn't need surgery to get sick. Sometimes all you needed was water. The Nile was the reason Egypt existed. It provided farmland, fish, transportation, and irrigation. But farmers, fishermen, and laborers spent enormous amounts of time in and around the river. And freshwater parasites could enter through the skin. One of the worst was schistosomiasis. The parasite could enter the bloodstream and eventually cause serious internal damage. Evidence of schistosomiasis has been found in ancient Egyptian remains. So the river was doing something almost cruelly perfect. It was feeding the civilization, while sometimes making the people who depended on it sick. Then there was food. For ordinary families, bread was a major part of life, along with vegetables, milk, lentils, and fish. Meat was less accessible for poorer households because livestock was valuable for farming and other purposes. And the bread itself could slowly damage you. Primitive grinding methods could leave grit and tiny stone particles in the flour. Every meal, ancient Egyptian remains show severe dental wear consistent with this kind of abrasive diet. You could lose the health of your teeth without ever having an accident. You simply ate and kept eating. Then there was childhood. For many ordinary families, children weren't separated from work. They helped with chores, cared for younger siblings, and eventually became part of the family's economic life. Because when survival depends on farming, animals, food, and manual work, every pair of hands matters. And if you were unlucky enough to be sent to war, survival became much simpler. Don't get hit. You might have a bow aimed at you, a spear coming toward you, a shield that can't cover your entire body. And if something gets through, there's no modern emergency room waiting nearby. Egyptian military remains and ancient evidence show the reality of battlefield trauma, including serious weapon injuries. So think about what an ordinary Egyptian was actually surviving. A government that could demand your labor, a legal system that could physically punish you, medicine that could save you, but could not yet control pain or infection the way modern medicine can. A river that could feed you and infect you, food that could keep you alive and slowly destroy your teeth. And a battlefield where one mistake could end everything, yet somehow Egypt lasted. Not for a century, not for a few generations, for thousands of years. Because the Egyptians became incredibly good at adaptation. They turned the Nile into farmland. They organized labor. They stored food. They developed medicine. They passed knowledge from one generation to the next. And they created systems that allowed millions of people to live within an environment that could be brutally unforgiving. Even death became something they tried to manage. Mummification preserved the body. Tombs protected the dead. Religious texts were meant to guide the soul through the afterlife. They weren't only trying to survive life, they were preparing to survive death itself. And maybe that's the real lesson of ancient Egypt. We look at the pyramids and see stone. We look at the temples and see power. We look at the mummies and see death. But behind all of it were ordinary people constantly solving one problem. How do we keep going? They couldn't eliminate the desert. They couldn't eliminate disease. They couldn't eliminate pain. They couldn't eliminate rulers. So they adapted. They learned the river. They learned the land. They learned medicine. They learned how their society worked. And they passed those lessons forward. Ancient Egypt wasn't a civilization without suffering. It was a civilization that became remarkably good at surviving it. And that's how humans survived ancient Egypt. Not because life was easy, because it wasn't, but because generation after generation, they learned how to keep going. If you enjoyed this kind of journey through the uncomfortable side of history, subscribe for more stories about how ordinary humans survived the worlds that came before us. And remember, the past wasn't built by people who had it easy. It was built by people who adapted.